Call the December 19th meeting of the Board of Supervisors together with pledge of allegiance.
Outside and confirm.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start, I'd like to make a correction to the meeting minutes from last special meeting. Line 3 under promotions should read to reaffirm Stanley Strawham as working road crew foreman at a rate of $21.20 per hour, hours to be determined by the Board of Supervisors, and to recall his employment layoff. Motion by Supervisor Nolly, seconded by Supervisor Russell. Voted aye, motion carried. That's the correction. Carl?
Before you go any further, I just want to announce that an executive session was held immediately prior to tonight's meeting to discuss labor and personnel matters.
My report's attached. I have nothing else.
Sure.
All right. Well, good evening, folks. As always, Gerard Hetman from the Blackwell County Commissioner's Office. Just a brief note tonight, I'm actually joined tonight by our newest employee, Caitlin English. Caitlin is going to be taking over this assignment for me. I have filled kind of, I've been here a year now, and I'm happy to work with everyone. I've been kind of filling in long term after Michelle left when she had this assignment. So Caitlin will be doing this from now on. So it's been a pleasure to work with you guys. I hope I've been of service to the township and the community. So I'm sure I'll see you somewhere here in the mix as we go along. So Caitlin will do a great job for you going forward. So just two items that we have that we'd like to mention. The first is that voting for this closes this Friday at 5 p.m. But the Lackawanna River is in the running once again to be the Pennsylvania Organization of Watershed and Rivers River of the Year for the year 2018. A contest that this group runs every year. They always nominate 5 bodies of water from around the Commonwealth to get this designation. And the voting is done very simply by online balloting. So you can go to their website, it's just pariveroftheyear.org, and you can register once per email address to vote. So they'll ask you for an email, just put in your email, and they then record your vote based on that. We're trying to get this to happen. It would be a great help to particularly the LRCA, Lackawanna River Conservation Association, if we win this contest with Lackawanna River. In terms of their programming, in terms of their conservation efforts, it would be a big boost. It would seem to have a good impact in other parts of the state where we've seen previous winners, the funds from them that they use to leverage grants and other opportunities for good use. So let's make it happen. It's really simply a grassroots effort. The place that builds the most momentum in the community to get votes is typically the place that wins. And we've seen really small communities come out and vote for it online, and they wind up winning over what you would think would be much larger bodies of water in more populated areas. So if you can help us out to vote before this Friday, let's make it happen. The other one is this group that an event we're doing with a couple of partner agencies, in particular the Creative and Performing Arts Academy of Northeast PA, and that is our Lackawanna County New Year's Eve Spectacular. It's a new spin on what was previously First Night Scranton. A block party, 200 block of Wyoming Avenue, downtown Scranton. Starts at 7 p.m. on New Year's Eve. There'll be a variety of musical entertainers, street performers, food vendors. The whole list is on their website. They're still finalizing some of the acts. Free admission, alcohol-free. That's what's First Night Scranton. And of course, there'll be fireworks at midnight. So it's a new twist on an old event. A lot of folks called us and asked last year why did it go away. So our office, together with our Arts and Culture Department, and again some of the agencies you see at the bottom, try to put it together and make it happen again. So we'll see how it goes. If anybody asks his first night back, the answer is in this format, yes. So we're happy to see that going forward. That's all we have, guys. Have a Merry Christmas, and again, good working with you. See you soon.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Sure, you wires you want to put up?
Yeah. I was good with gives at the end. Okay. Just those two.
Thank you. Just stand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just this, again, I was still in here, so we had someone else after Michelle left, so you'll still see me in minutes.
DGK is next, but I think we should let them wait till the end of the meeting for what we're paying them. Jeff?
I'm not laughing. Believe me, I can sympathize with you.
Jeff, you're up next.
All right. I had a chance before you came out to give you an outline of the insurance program for the upcoming year. And what I'll do is just touch base on a few key points. But as I go through the outline, if there's a question that comes to mind, please stop me at that point. We'll address the question and move on. They're numbered down in the bottom left-hand corner, and all I'll say about the property coverages is we do have it on a blanket basis. So if you look on that page number 3, you can see that there's one limit that's for all building and contents. And then the pages that are after that look like an outline of the various structures and the values assigned to everything throughout the township. That is the tool that we use to establish that blanket limit. And the reason we do that is, especially on a situation like yourselves where you have so many structures and things that change throughout the year, is the blanket limit, any structure is automatic. And so if you add, as long as the location is listed, if we happen to not have an opportunity to amend by adding a new building on, it's automatically covered anyways. And then of course each year when we sit down like this, or you get a chance after the meeting to review that outline of schedule of building and contents, we can make an amendment accordingly.
One quick question, John.
Yes.
Looking at light poles here, we have to cover the coverage because they're leased for PPL.
If they are damaged, the assumption has always been that we were explained that if it's damaged, you're going to have to bear the cost to replace them. Is that the case? At the park? Yeah.
No, they're leased for PPL. We lease all of our lights.
Everywhere?
Except for the streetlights. I believe we own the streetlights. That's, I believe we own the streetlights. We lease all of them.
But in your lease agreement, who's responsible if they are technically
We have to pull that.
Okay.
That's first
You
time.
can find
It just popped up on this
Yeah.
page. That's why.
I mean, you can find out, and then we're not talking a lot of money, but there's no use in carrying the coverage if you're not responsible.
They may very well require us to carry that coverage.
Oh, you meant the traffic light there?
Traffic lights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we own the traffic
Yeah, the
lights.
streetlights.
The
Yeah.
streetlights are PPL. We lease
Well,
them.
these lights that we're talking about in there are the ones out at the park.
Yeah, those are leased too.
There's at least 2, okay.
Oh, yeah, after one before you just put up. Okay. Yeah, all the lights are, actually,
Okay.
there's 8 lights total.
You're gonna look into that and let me know then?
Yeah.
Well, TSC did that one, TSC had to pay for it, so we didn't do it.
Okay. That's true too.
Yeah, and there's a lot of traffic going in and out of the park,
Yeah.
so. All right, and then you go to, let's get this in here. We go on to, go through a couple of those pages till you get to page number 5, which is the equipment list other than the vehicles. Just keep going through that schedule of property coverages. And these are the items that are going off-site, out on the job sites and so forth. So, and we have to rely on you to check that these are all up to date. We don't have something that shouldn't be on there, or we're missing something that should be. And I think it goes on to, no, it's all on that page 5. It's something that you can just, somebody can review for us and let us know that we've got it up to date. You can see that.
And more on that, because it's technically a error, I don't think so.
Wow. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, it would be a little small, wouldn't it? And then we go on, you can go on to the next page, we've got some blanket coverage to cover your small tools and equipment, the hand tools.
Actually, this is better.
Are you missing one? Yeah, that's why we need to have you guys look at that for us and then update it.
There's one on here that we put on your hats, and there's one that we have that's not on here. I'll look at it tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
Be sure.
And then we go on to page 7. There's your computer coverages, your computer and software. We go on to, by the way, like I said, I'm sort of skipping through here, so stop me if you got a question. We go on to page 8, which is your operations liability. I mean, the technical term, the insurance lingo is general liability coverage, but think of it as your operations. And one little note there, it does cover the township. It covers employees. It covers elected and appointed officials. So if somebody comes on your property, residential home, you're conducting township business, and they fall, they're going to come after you in 2 capacities. One, as the owner of the property, and 2, probably thinking that the money's back to the township, so they're going to come after you in capacity as an elected official or an employee. So the coverage follows that situation. We go on to page 10, which is the automobile coverages. The only thing that's a little bit unique in that you do provide the auto liability coverage for the 2 fire companies and the dive rescue operation. Keep in mind that anybody who is using their personal vehicle on township business, the liability coverage on that would be primary or first in the event of an accident, but then the liability coverage on here would be over and above what you carry personally. So you've got an extra couple $1 million of coverage protection if you're using your personal vehicle on township business.
If you were pulling the township trailer or something with a piece of equipment on it, your insurance will cover you, and then the township's insurance will pick up.
Correct. Yes.
We went through this every year.
Yes.
6 years.
Yes. And then the workman's compensation. I sort of call that like the good, bad, and the ugly, but forget about the word good, just the bad and the ugly. You know, because I know we've been in contact with Carl and Tom when the renewal came out from the State Workers Insurance Fund, and the bottom line is the premiums choking you to death. And I don't have any good news to say on that other than it is what it is, and it's actually going to get worse. The reason I'm saying that is, if you just so you understand a little bit, if you go to the next page after page 14, this is an excerpt from a state website, and it's sort of like your report card. And what it is, this state organization calculates a factor that's based upon your premium and your losses for a 3-year period. So if you look down the bottom, for 2017's factor, they use those 3 years at the bottom. And I have a separate attachment or one in your packet that shows all your claims history. The point is that alone is a 15.8% increase from last year to this year in the experience model, which directly relates to an increase in your premium. That being said, there's also the state rates themselves, which changed drastically. So what happened was the state rates went up about 15%, and you have another almost 16% on the experience mod, and so you can see that you had a 30+% increase in your workman's compensation premium with this renewal. And to add insult to injury, there is an additional 6% rate increase that is pending right now at the state level, which is across the board for all classifications. And it is being reviewed by the insurance department. It is being challenged by the Lawyers Association. So, but if it does happen, it's going to be retroactive, meaning that we're going to put your policy in effect based upon the premiums you have right now, but they could be billing you for another 6%. Sorry.
This is what it is.
And the other thing is that looking at your claims for this past year and so forth, that that mod is going to come down next year. It's going to stay up there. It may not increase, definitely won't increase the percentage it did this year. If it does go up, it could be a point or two, but it's definitely not going to come down because there is claims activity. So that's the good and the bad and the ugly. Yeah, did you say that, did? Yeah. What's that in?
I just forgot the one that doesn't.
All right, so then we go on to page 18. This is your heart and lung coverage, which you're required by statute to provide to your police department. That picks up the difference between what workers' compensation pays and what you're responsible for, which is 100% of a police officer's wages. And on the 19 are the bonds. On the 20 is the additional $2 million of liability coverage. So you have a total of $3 million of liability coverage for all of your underlying coverages: automobile, public officials, general liability. And then we go to the next, which is a yellow divider. This is just the Small Wonders preschool. It's pretty straight up. You know, we have some minimal contents coverage. You get all the extras because this company has a program for preschools and etc. Your liability coverages are the same at $3 million. And this year, abuse and molestation coverage is included. Which brings me back to, if you go to page 21, towards the end. A lot of papers. We killed trees. This is an outline, and what I'm showing you is on the right-hand column would be your premiums you paid last year. Left-hand column are the premiums for this year. And as you can see, pretty much the items that we have some control over, which are the package part of it, that basically the premiums have stayed the same. It's the workman's compensation for the township that has had the drastic increase. And bear in mind that you deal directly with State Workers Insurance Fund on that. We're merely sort of along to help you with the administration of it. We don't get paid any commission or anything on that. It just comes straight up from them. And like I said, for both the township and the dive rescue policies, this is what they're going to be. If the rate increase is approved, or it could be something less than 6%, or it could be nothing at all, that'll come after the fact. And just, you go to the page 22, just a couple little quick items.
Ask you a question.
Yes.
What is the blanket on the bonds?
We have a blanket bond that covers all other employees and the supervisors. We put that in effect because they have protect signing authority and stuff. Is the sexual abuse and molestation coverage for the township. I don't know, I know you had to adopt a written policy procedure for the preschool. I don't know if one was done for the township as well.
I don't believe so. Nice. For both. Covered both.
You covered both?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then the only thing.
Township-wide.
The only condition we're need to satisfy then would be doing the 2 background checks on all employees of the township. The preschool is mandatory because of state law. In order to qualify for the coverage under the township, you have to meet 2 conditions. One is the written policy procedure, and 2 is doing the state police and the child abuse history clearance on all employees.
Yeah, we never got that.
Okay. I mean, you can see that the cost to add the coverage is minimal. And getting the background checks only has to be done once every 5 years. So.
That is mandatory now, isn't it?
It is not mandatory for, not mandatory for you because you don't have, per se, direct contact with children in that you don't, like I have some municipalities that have, they have more situations with group readings, they have parks and recreation, summer events and so forth, camps and so forth. They are required by law to just do it across the board. The other item is your cyber solutions, your cyber coverage. And I talk about this because it isn't just involved a situation where there's a breach of private information. You are communicating back and forth to each other, to us, to any other entities out there, and it can be something as simple as, unbeknownst to you, there's some kind of malware on your computer system. You send an email to me, it corrupts my system. I hire an outside, forensic specialist to come in and figure that out, and we find that we spend $1,000, $2,000 or $10,000 doing that. We're coming after you for restitution. So this coverage is more than just protecting you in the event somebody's private information is breach. Would be the word I might apply. So I'm just saying is you can start at a minimal coverage. It's not a lot of money. You can of course go all the way to $1 million. I'm just saying is it's something is better than nothing. Any other questions or anything there?
The public get a comment?
Sure.
You get a chance?
Good question.
Good question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What have you got a place that asks about the, it's not on the agenda, about the shooting range? That they're talking about for them, on the property they just bought? Does that have anything to do with liability of the insurance company?
Yes, I mean, actually, the subject was broached to us a couple of months ago.
The shooting is towards my property, Red Rock.
Yeah, the question to me was, is there liability coverage and would it cost extra money? The coverage is automatic because there is no additional charge for them having that exposure. All I said to the township was that as long as they keep it for law enforcement and it's not something that's open just to the public for general use, then there's no issues. If that were to occur, then it has to be addressed differently.
The fact that it's shooting towards my property, that's not comfortable for me. Somebody could shoot over the barrier by accident or whatever. We walked there, we walked the dog there. I got it.
It's like a nuisance because
They shoot 600-700 shots when they do it, so the 2 hours into the door.
they go up to below 95 cents.
Right.
And they have different ranges available for this shooting.
5 miles away, shooting range.
Well, I mean, from an insurance standpoint, I mean, our responsibility is to provide the coverage. The township, I'm going to make the assumption, vetted the whole physical facilities to be sure that it was safe for the public, and that's probably about as best I can say to you at this point.
We have like a sand mound, like a sand thing for blocking.
Two loads of stone.
So,
It's easier for a gun to be off six and keep fired over that.
right over it.
I'm right behind it.
And I tell you, if somebody shoots on the property and you get injured, there's gonna be a big lawsuit. Big lawsuit.
Okay, next.
Anything else?
No, I have nothing.
Tom, just, and by the way, because it's a personnel, I did attach claim information. And if you, there's a yellow divider, the ones on the back side of it are your workman's compensation claims. It's not something we discussed in an open meeting, but you can see what is affecting and what will affect your workman's compensation premium going forward. It's a separate.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
I thank you very much. No other questions from anybody? If you do have questions regarding, any of the claims or whatever, you are more than welcome to call us. We can provide any information or discuss what we know and find information out for you. We just don't do it in an open meeting because it's considered personnel matters. Okay. Then, just double checking, you said you got the checks for Swift?
Yeah.
Because they have to be down there before the 31st.
That's why I've got the checks.
I don't have to get
That
ready.
one I just signed?
No.
I
All right.
signed that one yet?
I thank you. I wish everybody happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Jeff. You should
Same
have
idea on an 11-inch font.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, Bob, it was a typo.
with that, we'll move on to public comment on agenda items. Yes, Rose?
On motion 5, how many quotes did you get?
None.
None?
One.
Is that one?
Yes.
Oh. Why didn't you get more than one?
Because there's not really anyone around that is going to sound less and has the capabilities to do equipment that size. That's it.
Well, the other ones are not on it's at the end.
Come on, I thought you could do better than
I am,
that tonight.
but it's only agenda items right now.
Rose, I forgot your pizza certificate.
Yeah.
Move on to motion 4, approval of the minutes. I need a motion to approve the Board of Supervisors meeting minutes from November 20th, 2017, and the special meeting of December 4th, with, to include the motion, the correction that I did read. Do I have a motion? I'll second the motion. All in favor? Aye. Police are attached. Road report, I'll give that when I give my advisors. Parks and Recreation, Planning Commission's attached. Zoning Officer reports attached. Tom, do you have anything? Bills are attached. Supervisors. I would just like to thank all the members, including Rose, for people here, the audience that attended all these 6 years. It was a good 6 years. Glad it's over with finally. I'd like to really thank Jimmy Black. He was one of the inspirations for me even running for supervisor. And a lot of his unfinished projects did get finished while I sat on the board, along with Supervisor Janetta and Supervisor McCullough and Bobby and Stephen. I understand now why he only wanted to do it 6 years. Mike, good luck. I'd like to also thank a few of the other supervisors that I did serve with, David Paula, Mike Janetta, and had the opportunity to work with Stanley before. And Stanley actually taught me how to be crotchier than what I actually am, so thanks, Stanley. All the trucks are up running. They've been running fine. We've had a few glitches. They've all been checked out. They technically cleaned themselves up. They were just anything with computers. They'll throw a code and throw just warning lights. We've been out, I think, 6 days last week, just about every day. The salt shed is bids are going to be open Thursday. I'd just like to thank everyone that attends the meetings regularly, and thank everyone all the boards I served with and worked for. And thank Supervisor Goldie and Russell as well. Move on to Stephen.
No, I'm good.
Bob?
Good, thank you for 6 years of service. It's been ups and downs, but I'll play out. Thank you for your 6 years of service.
Thank you. Attorney Finucci?
Nothing.
Nothing. Correspondence reports distributed. We'll move on to the motions. I'll make a motion to pay the December payroll. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to pay the general fund and state fund bills as presented to include a Highmark bill in the amount of $7,433.19. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the financial reports as presented.
Make the motion.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the budget of $1,839,333 for 2018, with a tax rate of 12 mils for general taxes and 2 mils for fire, for a total of 14 mils, with no tax increase.
I'll second it.
I'm voting no because Shields Road is not fully funded in the budget, so I'm a no. I'll make a motion to award a quote to Sandblast for paint this 672 CH grader to John Keane in the amount of $4,500, with the Township supplying all paint and primer. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve Chief Gant's attendance at the Police Chiefs Convention, June 16th to 20th, 2017, to include convention fees, meals, and lodging. This should be 2018. Oh, sorry, 2018. Do I have a second? I'll make that motion. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Public comment in general. Yes, Rose?
What vacancies are available now for 2018 on the, say, the planning commission?
That's up to the incoming board, Rose. I have no idea.
Well, yeah, but I
think
mean,
she's
terms.
asking what terms are up.
I have not looked into it because I'm not going to be here to make that decision. Maybe the other board members will know. I don't know.
We haven't figured it out yet, Rose. Tom and I usually have to look through the list and see what spots are open and then give it to the supervisors. We haven't done that yet.
On the payroll, again, you had 4 hours of overtime for somebody working on recycling. I mean, there's no reason to have overtime for recycling. The salt shed, the bids are going to be opened on Thursday.
I believe that's Thursday they're going to be open.
And when is the project going to be awarded then?
On approval of the solicitor's review and the engineer's review, I believe is how it was worded and advertised.
Well, how are you going to do that? That can't be, that has to be voted on by the board. They're not township officials.
Did you address that? I did not attend that meeting, Rose.
Yeah, that's the way the motion was worded, and basically it was a contingency. They approved it, they already approved it, just contingent upon the engineer and solicitor's review. And the only reason that was done is because it's time sensitive, and it couldn't wait until another month because of the weather.
Well, you should have just had the changed the meeting from tonight to tomorrow, or when you're going to be opening the bids, and had the board, the supervisors vote on it. Because you're not an official. What if it goes over the amount that it's supposed to be?
I'm the the solicitor, so it would be a legal review.
Yeah, but you're not an elected official.
It was for a legal review and the engineer's review.
But you're not the elected official. And anyhow.
They've already approved it.
But, well, I know, but I didn't, that's not the way that I read the ad. And the other thing is, any of those people that are bidding, how do we know you don't have a conflict that you haven't privately in your legal practice represented them? So how could you possibly be making any kind of a recommendation to spend taxpayer money? I don't see where that can be done. It's the board's responsibility.
Just so you know that it's legal.
I have no problem attending another meeting to approve the contract. So I'm based on our solicitor's advice for us.
Well, it doesn't mean that the advice is always right.
I agree.
So, I mean, it's still the board.
Been dead on since I've been around.
So, you know, I mean, it's still up to the board. You're the ones that are supposed to be, because if it comes up, you know, high.
Anything else?
Are there any pending sewer hearings or zoning hearings?
No.
Magistrate, nothing?
No. Oh, that's wrong, I'm sorry. There is, January 20-something.
Who is it?
Dennis. Tom Dennis and Patricia Dennis. There's two actually. Same day, same time. I can get you the date in the office.
So these, the bids are going to be open Thursday morning at 10?
Yes.
Is that it, Rose?
Yeah, for right now.
Jack?
You think part of this is a bid for that sewer thing, or that sort of salt shed, have anything to do with retention pond at all?
I didn't look at the retention
Was it
pond
mentioned
area.
Or is there any decision on that so-called shooting range?
The shooting range, as far as I'm concerned, is a dead issue.
That's what I'm saying, is it?
That's up to the new board.
That was,
Yeah.
good.
Well, that'd be up to the new board to decide.
It won't be there.
When we get a price, not gonna argue, but when we get a price, how much it's gonna cost?
Shooting range won't be there, retention pond maybe.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else?
So that meeting on Thursday, which one of you supervisors are going to be there?
It's gotta be a public meeting.
No, they'd be open publicly, but it doesn't have to be a meeting. Do the dinner, but.
I don't know, Rose. I could be here.
Bob, are you going to be there?
It could be.
Steve?
No.
Well, I still think it's an issue that, you know, the board should be, the elected officials, I don't understand why it can't be held over now until January.
From what I understand, we're gonna lose the foundations, everything we have there, and it'll cost us a lot more money.
Yeah, but if the bids come up real high, it might cost you way more money.
Rick, the option isn't there to reject all bids, correct? Hey, it's whoever's reviewing it. If the bids, of course, okay, that's, okay. I know I usually like that, but some, I didn't see that.
So if it is a ridiculous.
If it's a ridiculous amount, we can reject all bids.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I read the ad, but the ad was 2 weeks ago when I read it, I don't remember.
I'm only reviewing it for legal sufficiency and the way.
That's always
they
usually
ask, but
included in
Gary's
any
got-
ad we run.
Gary and KBA will review it to make sure that it's reasonable, that it's proper, you know, so we both have a different set of eyes on it.
Yeah, but Gary's not an elected
Oh.
official here either.
But, no, the bid is the bid. If it's the lowest responsible bidder, it's good. You know, if it's within what the board knows the amounts that they had anticipated. They have an idea what the amount should be, rough idea anyway.
Well, what is the amount that it should be?
I don't have that right in front of me. What, does anybody know offhand?
last time they come in at 108.
It was 108 the last time.
Last time it could vary.
No, there's
It
been
could
some
be higher,
revisions.
there's been revisions, it could be higher, it could be lower.
He did revisions to it. But Gary knows, Gary has an idea of what, and that's what they do. I mean, they have an idea of what
Would
the
it-
reasonable amount should be.
Would it be-
Sometimes though, it comes in over, sometimes it comes in under.
Would it be wise, Rick, to have the board at the reorganizational meeting reaffirm the,
They
bid?
can.
Yeah,
Everything will be public. It's not like we're hiding it. We'll announce, we probably will announce it. The supervisors will be aware. Whoever-
Bids will be open.
And that's
Bids
why
will be
Mike,
open.
Mike's, Mike's participating.
It's announced when they're gonna
in
be
everything
open.
since he becomes
Sometimes the
supervisor
contractors
elect.
come.
Mike is fully aware of what's going on, staying in the loop, to know what's going on, so he can reaffirm the,
I know, but
bids
at 10 o'clock in the morning
January
during the week is not a, I mean, it should have been done at, you know, a later hour. That's not a good time for everybody. And it should have been done.
Last time we had a meeting during the day, there was more people than the meeting that night.
We only want to have the data.
No, not
No,
Thursday.
no, the Thursday.
Sometimes the contractors.
Yeah, I'm sure the board has no problem reaffirming it at the reorganizational meeting, which would only be the right thing to do this way. It's officially.
Well, good, then why don't you write a motion right now and vote on it, that you reaffirm it at the reorganization?
We'll leave that to the next board.
Let's see what they are first. See how they.
Maybe I'll get thrown out, Lois. I don't know what the bids are gonna come in at. Anyone else? No? Michael?
I'd just like to say, as I'm coming into my third night, that I've served with a lot of supervisors over the years, over those 3 terms. Didn't always agree with everybody that served on the board, but I do admire anyone that ran for supervisor, admire anybody that stuck with it that won. It's not an easy job, and you know, I worked with you on the board for 4 years, and I did enjoy working with you on the board. And regardless of the results of the election, I do think you were a good supervisor, you were dedicated, and your heart was in it, and I think you worked hard at it. Just want to recognize that.
Thank you. And I plan on not being a supervisor, still working hard too. So I really appreciate the compliment, Michael. Anyone else? With that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.